5 Methods I Have Used to Banish Worry by Professor William Lyon Phelps. I had the privilege of spending an afternoon with Billy Phelps of Yale shortly before his death. Here are the 5 methods he used to banish worry based on the notes I took during that interview. Number 1. When I was 24 years old, my eyes suddenly gave out. After reading 3 or 4 minutes, my eyes felt as if they were full of needles. And even when I was not reading, they were so sensitive that I could not face a window. I consulted the best oculist in New Haven and New York. Nothing seemed to help me. After 4 o'clock in the afternoon, I simply sat in a chair in the darkest corner of the room, waiting for bedtime. I was terrified. I feared that I would have to give up my career as a teacher and go out west and get a job as a lumberjack. Then a strange thing happened, which shows the miraculous effects of the mind over physical ailments. When my eyes were at their worst that unhappy winter, I accepted an invitation to address a group of undergraduates. The hall was illuminated by huge rings of gas jets suspended from the ceiling. The lights pained my eyes so intensely that while sitting on the platform I was compelled to look at the floor. Yet during my 30-minute speech, I felt absolutely no pain, and I could look directly at these lights without any blinking whatever. Then, when the assembly was over, my eyes pained me again. I thought then that if I could keep my mind strongly concentrated on something, not for 30 minutes, but for a week, I might be cured. For clearly, it was a case of mental excitement triumphing over a bodily illness. I had a similar experience later, while crossing the ocean. I had an attack of lumbago so severe that I could not walk. I suffered extreme pain when I tried to stand up straight. While in that condition, I was invited to give a lecture on shipboard. As soon as I began to speak, every trace of pain and stiffness left my body. I stood up straight, moved about with perfect flexibility, and spoke for an hour. When the lecture was over, I walked away to my stateroom with ease. For a moment I thought I was cured, but the cure was only temporary. The lumbago resumed its attack. These experiences demonstrated to me the vital importance of one's mental attitude. They taught me the importance of enjoying life while you may. So I live every day now as if it were the first day I had ever seen and the last I were going to see. I'm excited about the daily adventure of living, and nobody in a state of excitement will be unduly troubled with worries. I love my daily work as a teacher. I wrote a book entitled The Excitement of Teaching. Teaching has always been more than an art or an occupation to me. It is a passion. I love to teach as a painter loves to paint or a singer loves to sing. Before I get out of bed in the morning, I think with ardent delight of my first group of students. I have always felt that one of the chief reasons for success in life is enthusiasm. Number 2, I have found that I can crowd worry out of my mind by reading an absorbing book. When I was 59, I had a prolonged nervous breakdown. During that period, I began reading David Alec Wilson's monumental Life of Carlyle. It had a good deal to do with my convalescence because I became so absorbed in reading it that I forgot my despondency. Number 3. At another time, when I was terribly depressed, I forced myself to become physically active almost every hour of the day. I played 5 or 6 sets of violent games of tennis every morning, then took a bath, had lunch, played 18 holes of golf every afternoon. On Friday nights, I danced until 1 o'clock in the morning. I'm a great believer in working up a tremendous sweat. I found that depression and worry oozed out of my system with the sweat. Number 4, I learned long ago to avoid the folly of hurry, rush, and working under tension. I've always tried to apply the philosophy of Wilbur Cross. When he was governor of Connecticut, he said to me, "Sometimes when I have too many things to do all at once, I sit down and relax and smoke my pipe for an hour and do nothing." Number 5, I have also learned that patience and time have a way of resolving our troubles. When I'm worried about something, I try to see my troubles in their proper perspective. I say to myself, 2 months from now, I shall not be worrying about this bad break, so why worry about it now? Why not assume now the same attitude that I will have 2 months from now? To sum up, here are the 5 ways in which Professor Phelps banished worry. 1. Live with gusto and enthusiasm. I live every day as if it were the first day I have ever seen and the last I were going to see. 2. Read an interesting book. When I had a prolonged nervous breakdown, I began reading The Life of Carlyle and became so absorbed in reading that I forgot my despondency. 3. Play games. When I was terribly depressed, I forced myself to become physically active almost every hour of the day. 4. Relax while you work. I long ago learned to avoid the folly of hurry, rush, and working under tension. 5. I try to see my troubles in their proper perspective. I say to myself, 2 months from now, I shall not be worrying about this bad break, so why worry about it now? Why not assume now the same attitude that I will have 2 months from now?